The day I'd been dreaming of for years, my high school graduation, it turned into a moment I'll never forget, a broken bar for all the wrong reasons. Not a single member of my family showed up. Not my parents. Not my brother. Not even my boyfriend. And in that empty, echoing silence, I realized the truth: I'd never been important to them. But here's the thing about people like me: when you push us down, we don't just get back up. We rise so high you'll wish you'd never looked. If you've ever been made to feel invisible on the most important day of your life, this story's for you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into the revenge that turned my family's silence into the loudest regret of their lives. Full story expansion. Growing up, I wasn't the troublemaker. I wasn't the golden child. I wasn't anything, really, not in their eyes. My mom poured all her energy into my older brother, Ryan. He played sports, got into fights, and somehow always ended up the hero of every family gathering story. My dad? He worked long hours, but when he was home, he had little patience for emotional stuff. And my boyfriend, Ethan, was the kind of guy who loved being loved but hated the responsibility of actually showing up when it mattered. Over the years, I learned to swallow disappointment like medicine. Birthdays that were forgotten. School plays with no one in the audience for me. Awards nights where I clapped for myself because no one else did. But graduation? That was supposed to be different. 3 months before, I started reminding everyone. At breakfast. Ceremonies June 4th at 3 p.m. Don't be late. 2 weeks before. Remember, it's assigned seating, so you'll want to get there early for good spots. The night before. Set your alarms so seriously, please don't miss it. Each time, they nodded or mumbled something like, yeah, we'll be there, as if I were nagging them to take out the trash. That morning, I woke up at 6:30 a.m., my stomach buzzing with a mix of nerves and pride. My cap and gown hung on the back of my bedroom door like a promise. I did my makeup carefully, pinned my curls so they wouldn't get crushed under the cap, and triple-checked the safety pins. My phone? Silent. No good luck text. No proud of you message. I told myself they were just saving it for when they saw me in person. When I arrived at the auditorium, the air smelled like flowers and fresh pressed fabric. Families hugged in the aisles, holding bouquets wrapped in crisp paper. Camera flashes lit up the room. I scanned the crowd for familiar faces. Nothing. The principal's voice echoed as names were called. The applause for each graduate was like a wave, and when my name was announced, that wave broke into silence. Walking across that stage, I felt like I was moving underwater. My hands trembled as I took my diploma. Every step back to my seat was a reminder: the people who were supposed to be my cheerleaders or broken bar weren't even in the stands. After the ceremony, I stood alone in the lobby, watching classmates take pictures with their families. Ethan finally called. "Babe, I'm so sorry. Traffic was crazy, and I left later than I meant to." "You left later than you meant to?" I said, my voice shaking. "This was my graduation, Ethan. You knew what time it started." I know, but it's not the end of the world. We'll celebrate later." It was the end of the world. at least for me. We hung up not long after, the fight simmering like a pot about to boil over. That night, my dad knocked on my bedroom door. "Want to get some ice cream?" We sat in a small diner, the neon sign buzzing faintly above us. I thought maybe he was trying, in his awkward way, to make up for it. But halfway through his mint chocolate chip, he said, "I didn't think you'd mind. You've always been the strong one. You don't need people holding your hand." I stared at him, spoon frozen midair. That wasn't an apology. That was an explanation, a confirmation of the thing I'd always feared. They didn't forget. They just didn't think I mattered enough. That night, lying in bed, I felt the familiar ache in my chest. But this time, something shifted. If they didn't see me now, I'd make damn sure they noticed me later. And when they did, it would be too late for them to claim a piece of it. I got a part-time job that summer at a bookstore, then another tutoring middle school kids. I saved relentlessly. My friends were spending their first paychecks on clothes and nights out. I was building an escape fund. Every ignored call, every missed congratulations became fuel. By the end of the year, I'd stopped confiding in my family. My updates became surface level, vague. When they asked how school was, I answered with one-word replies. They didn't notice at first. But slowly, the space between us became impossible to ignore. I earned a full scholarship to a university 3 states away. When I moved, I didn't ask for help packing. I didn't give them the exact address. I worked my way through school, building a network of professors, peers, and mentors who actually cared. I started a tutoring business online. By my second year, I was earning more per month than my. Over the next few years, there were moments they could have shown up, moments that would have taken no more than a phone call or a train ride. My first published paper. My first business award. Even when I bought my first car outright at 21. Nothing. When I got engaged at 23, I decided they wouldn't be part of the wedding. It wasn't out of spite, it was out of clarity. My guest list was reserved for people who had earned their seat. We got married in a garden surrounded by friends who had become my chosen family. The air smelled like lavender and champagne. I laughed so much my cheeks hurt. And when I posted the photos online, the comments rolled in, "You look radiant, what a beautiful day." I knew they saw them. 2 days later, my mom texted, "I wish we could have been there." I didn't reply. A week later, Ryan called, saying, "I didn't realize it was serious. I thought you'd want us there." My silence was the only answer. 2 years later, I was invited to speak at a national education conference, my biggest career milestone yet. My keynote was streamed online. My parents watched from home. And when I thanked the people who had shaped me into the woman I'd become, I named my mentors, my friends, my colleagues, broken bar, but not them. The camera caught my smile. This time, their seats were the empty ones. The sweetest revenge wasn't the wedding or the success, it was knowing they could never again claim to be part of my story. They'd written themselves out long before I ever picked up the pen. If this story hit you in the gut, smash that like button and tell me in the comments what's the one thing you'd say to someone who made you feel invisible. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where justice isn't just served a broken bar, it's served ice cold.